Morning. Before we start the meditation, everything that we've talked about this morning already is about dreams and desires. And the daily order embody that. I felt the 12 powers coming up in every one of his work. So take a deep breath and find yourself in a relaxed position. Straight spine, feet on the floor, palms up, eyes closed if you're comfortable there. Breathe deeply and feel the expansion of that breath. Be aware of your breath and please smile. This will enhance your experience of being alive. It will enhance your experience in this moment and your connection inside of this meditation. Say silently, I am open. I am deserving. I am worthy of bringing my desires into my reality. And now connect with how that feels. Feel it in your body and say yes. Breathe and say yes again. Now imagine and see a beautiful, liquid white vibrating light above your head. This light is pouring itself into you, moving through you, from the top of your head, down your neck, pouring through your spine, moving through you down your shoulders and your arms. Feel the warmth of it and the vibration as it moves into your abdomen. The light is liquid and warm as it continues down your legs, to your toes, and it carries out of you any doubt or fear that you were holding on to before this moment. It is now dissolved. Breathe here. Breathe in and take a moment to feel the cleanse that you're experiencing right now. You may feel yourself vibrating. Now allow just one thing, one thought of something that you deeply desire to do, to create, accomplish, to start, or maybe finish in this lifetime. Remember, you have washed away doubt and fear from this experience with the white light. You are vibrating at a higher vibration and frequency right now. This is where manifesting is at its finest. Here's your space. Now embrace this vision that you have and hold on to it. See yourself engaging in life in this way. Notice your surroundings. Who's with you? What is the vibe that you feel? What are you doing? Hold the vision. You're vibrating at a much higher level here. So be specific in the details. See the colors. Hear the nature and the conversations. See your vibrancy. See yourself as this bright light. How are you serving? Now feel how effortless it is to be you right here. Feel the ease of being your authentic self, living your desired dream. Bring them into your reality as you know it. Feel your truth. This vision that you dream about day or night, it's your truth. That is why it continues to nudge you, to call out to you. This is grace. Feel what it feels like to step into the feeling of grace. Now say yes to it. Smile again, for your feelings are the language of your soul. You cannot ignore your soul. So when in doubt, go with the soul. Go with your soul. This is your purpose and the meaning of your living to evolve, living out your best life, living out your dreams now. Start right now by moving into the direction of your desires. See yourself as a magnet attracting these desired outcomes into your life. Breathe that in. Embrace these words as yours. You are in the driver's seat. You always have been. You are always winning at the game you're playing. And this vision of yours, this is your winning game. This is your time. So breathe in again. Feel your physical body and return to this moment. Feel refreshed, open, alive, and clear. It's time for you to soar.
This tide is quickly rising as these waves come crashing down. All along my path the seas brought something to be found. And this shoreline's always changing, seems we are as well. 'Cause everywhere you turn there are shadows, bits and pieces, mostly broken, cracked and empty, lying open. It's almost sad to realize, for every broken shell a change was made. A fear was faced, someone who was afraid took a risk and took a chance to take the steps and learn to dance. Found the strength to spread their wings and fly. And when they reached out and touched the sky, they began to sing a lullaby, a beautiful song of farewell to all the broken shells. Our hearts are meant to open so that love can pass on through. But we forget and keep them closed, afraid of what we lose. And so our lives are always shifting to remind us where we start, until everywhere we turn we find our heart. In bits and pieces, often broken, cracked and bleeding, but finally open. We feel like an empty shell until we realize, for every broken shell a change is made. A fear is faced, someone who is afraid takes a risk and takes the chance, take the steps and learn to dance. Finds the strength to spread their wings and fly. And when they reach out and touch the sky, they began to sing a lullaby, a beautiful song of farewell to all the broken shells. When my heart is breaking for the road, when there's just no way around, least I know. For every broken shell that changes me, a fear is faced, someone who is afraid takes a risk and takes the chance, learn the steps, learn the dance, finds the strength to spread their wings and fly. And when I reach out and touch the sky, I'm gonna sing a lullaby, beautiful song, farewell. Beautiful song, farewell. To all the broken shells.
Thank you. It is all about change. Today we're going to talk about change. I'm going to put that on my eyesight. Looks like a floaty. Anybody ever have one of those floaties in their eye? Big black thing. Okay. So welcome to this morning, to this moment. Oh, welcome to International Women's Day. I'm in. And this morning, thank you for being here and back for the fourth in this series of regret-free living, the four mainstays. And for those of you who may not have been here for some of those, the mainstays are in all of our lives. There are these constants, these pillars, foundations that ebb and flow. They dance, exchange hands with one another. They are the essential influencers in our life. They're always in motion, always forward motion like the mainstay of a ship. And today, your ship. So I promised you would get better. We're talking about hope, dreams, and desires. A little bit lighter today. Let's start with dreams. What are your dreams? I'm talking about the imagined dreams, you know, when our soul plays with us and shows us possibilities, little glimpses, preludes of what's to come, or the possibility of what's waiting for us. Those imaginations, are you living your dreams out? Are they coming to reality? How do you feel? How do you feel when you think about your dreams? Sometimes we might use it as an escape or a refuge, right? We feel really good. Take a moment and we go to our imagination and think about what it would be like. Feels pretty good, right? For a bit. And then what happens? Believe it or not, some of us stifle our dreams. You know, those visualizations that we have in our imagination, the things that we continually think about and see over and over again, but we're not bringing them into reality in our life. What can happen is that they start to become disappointing. Maybe they become painful, or turn into regrets. That can happen. And why is that? Because what are dreams? They make us feel good. They're a high vibration. How do we turn that around? Interesting. And then there's our literal dreams, you know, the ones that we have in our hour of sleep. I've always believed, and I do, that it's my soul taking time out from carrying me through this earthly human condition and experience. Sometimes playing and greeting and meeting other souls in my dreams. Are any of you having like really vivid dreams the last year or so? I am. Some of them we're remembering more. I'm finding that more and more people are remembering their dreams, having the same ones over and over again. I don't take that lightly because our dreams are messages from all levels of consciousness. You know, when I was in my son Devin's death experience, when I was inside of that angel said to me, our dreams are just dreams. But I knew exactly what she meant. Just. Justice, the Mason square of justice. Just is truth. Our dreams are our truth. They're our soul talking with us. They're the language of the soul as well. And then we have desires. You know, our desires are the feelings that we have from the dreams, from the thoughts that we think about, the visualizations. They're the language of the soul, our desires. You hear me talk about the word desire, I get goosebumps. Because it's such an emotional word, and I can take myself anywhere with that word. Some of our desires are fulfilled, and some of them are abandoned. Is that true? Any of you find that for yourself? I know I have found that for myself at times. You know, the human condition wants what it wants. The human experience wants the experience to come from inspiration. We've talked about the condition and the experience over the last few months. But the best way that we can get what we want or desire is to know exactly what that is, to get clear about what we want or desire. And maybe the first step is to change our languaging around wishing and wanting, even hoping, to desiring, and to feeling those feelings, and to connecting with them. You know, if we don't really understand and identify with what makes us happy, we're not going to be able to ask for it from the people around us that support us, or even from the universe. In fact, we might miss it when it arrives. Have you ever wondered if you missed something along the way? You were waiting for something and you actually questioned yourself, did I miss it? Did it show up and I didn't even know it was there? That comes from being unclear. One of the ways that we can get clear is to communicate with that, is to get very clear about what it is that we desire. Because when we do that, we turn up our frequency, our vibration is up. We no longer have to manipulate or be aggressive or even be worried or desperate to find our way into getting what we desire. Instead, we have a different frequency, and that's what allows us to play this game and to win at the game that we're playing. Sometimes there's rules, you know, particular games that we have to engage in that may even take us out of our integrity. The only rules that we need are attention, intention, and connection, and they're all free. This is a writer downer. If you aren't clear about what you want or desire out of life, it ain't going to be able to find you. You have to get clear so the universe can find what it is, bring it to us. In terms of energy, if we're in and out of this frequency, this vibration, in and out of our spiritual practice, it takes a lot of energy. It's exhausting to put up a front, to come in and out of that. It actually takes a lot less energy to be inside of our truth, to come from that place and all the things that we do. And I'm going to talk about that in the workshop today, using our energy, creating this magnetic field around us to draw to us what it is that we desire of that outcome. So knowing is just halfway there. You know, we might say we come here and we know that our thoughts become things, and why don't we have what we desire? Why don't we have those desired outcomes more often? Sometimes knowing is a crutch, because we can sit back and say, I know how to do this. I'm going to relax for a little bit. I'm going to take a pause, and then I'll put some feet on that. Anybody ever done that? Oh my God, I've done that. I don't do that too much anymore, because I talk about the power of the pause. There is definitely power in the pause. But if you pause too long, start to backpedal. Don't get comfortable. Don't get complacent. Not now. We truly know that we are manifesting at the speed of thought. We see it happening all the time. So let's talk about that little word hope. It seems to hold a lot of clout. It's non-tangible. It's an emotional word. And I don't have a lot to say about hope, but this. We are either hopeful or hopeless. There's no gray area there. We are spending our time in hopefulness or hopelessness about a situation. So my question to you is, what is the contrast that hope holds for you, what is the impact that it has on your dreams and your desired outcome. It's really something to think about. It's like wishing and wanting. You'll continue to get the experience of that until it becomes a desire and you feel it in your body and you connect with that and realize that this is Spirit talking to you. Can't ignore that. So, feelings are the language of the soul, and it's time to really listen to them. We don't have to suppress them, because I promise you that they will continue to come up. They will come right here. Think about it. They start here. They're almost done. And then we push them back down for whatever reason. So what is all this? Hope, dreams, desires, all the mainstays we've talked about, relationships and belonging and meaning and purpose and passion and grace and forgiveness. It all boils down to happiness. And I believe that everyone here in this room realizes that happiness is not something outside. It's not tangible. It comes from within. Many people believe that it comes from success, health, wealth, connected relationships. But the inverse of that is actually true. Success, wealth, good health, and nurturing relationships are a byproduct of happiness, not the cause. So when we're happy, and we know what happy is, we make different decisions, better choices that bring us to the circumstances, lead us to those exact things. So we have to recognize the happiness quotient, I call it. And what happens is, I've found, is that many of us on our spiritual path, we tend to analyze our unhappiness by trying to figure out what are the improvements, what are the adjustments to make it all right. That's important. But more important than that is analyzing our happiness. You see, we've got this gift. We have this gift of being the observer. We can step outside and we can see our actions, reactions, and emotions. So it's about recognizing those emotions of joy, of love, of contentment. And once we do that, we associate that with the pictures in our mind that bring that to us, and we recreate that over and over again. And when you recreate the feeling that comes with happiness from inside over and over again, you can sustain that in your life. So the first step is recognizing. The first step to change, to changing this, is recognizing so that we can create through our happiness, through our emotions. I'm going to talk a lot about this in the workshop today, working with energy, getting very clear on what it is you want, associating what makes you better when you do have that thing. What are the qualities of you that make life better? How are you serving through that? And watch things change in your life. So when we take time to recognize, another writer-downer, this is the happiness quotient. And when you take time to recognize when you are happy and what that feels like, it will become easier to recreate. When I worked in hospice, of course, my book was inspired by all the regrets that I heard. There were so many, but there were several very similar, familiar ones that people said to me. Regret number 5 is, if only I had done that one thing that I always dreamed of, my life may have been different on many levels. I'd like to read you something from the book and a story. Every one of us has a dream, that desire is ache to do that one thing. May it be having your own business, writing that book that you know is inside of you, saying yes to someone who loves you, or getting healthy, showing up as the best version of you. It could be walking away from an unhealthy relationship that's holding you back from expressing yourself as the greatest version of the grandest vision you've ever held for yourself. Procrastination will rob you into blindness. This also is such an impactful regret, because many have their own silent dreams and they do not share. This leads to a loneliness that's so self-imposed that one may not know where to begin in terms of releasing this private dream and allowing someone else to share in it with them. The private dream can become a private hell when it's unrealized by another. As a death doula, or anam cara, one who becomes the sacred soul friend for the dying, as we were called in ancient times. I was often invited to share in these secret lives, both within the mind and the real experiences that one had kept to themselves, or in the closet, so to speak. I was on the outside looking in without judgment. I had no history with a dying person, so they found a connection and a deep desire to speak their truth, because we all want to express what we hold on to, for the most part. We're just simply looking for a space without shame or judgment to do so. This is the story of Nita. When I think about this particular regret, I'm reminded of Nita. She was kind and soft-spoken and gifted with a special talent. This woman was an amazing seamstress, meticulous in her stitch. She would create dresses for weddings, plays, choirs, and any occasion that you could think of. She was always busy, she told me, as she worked hours on end from her home while raising her family. She shared with me one day, weeks before her death, that she had always had this fantasy, as she called it, in her head of having her own dress shop. I inquired as to why she had not made that fantasy a reality in her lifetime. She went on to say that she would hear that voice in her head tell her that she was not good enough, or that she was too old to have her own business. She heard repeatedly, "It'll be too hard. Keep doing what you're doing. It's enough." She went on to say that she believed that people would tell her that women just don't go out and do these kinds of things. She had so many stories in her mind. So many stories. Make no mistake, she was sad and regretful about not only having this unfulfilled dream, which remained just that because of the doubt her ego self had infringed upon her, so much so that she chose not to share this dream with her family and friends. She now had an inkling that had she done so, they may have had a hand in making this dream of hers a reality. She was second-guessing the fact that she had kept this secret desire to herself. She began to have this thought of the possibility that one of her children would have assisted her in making it so. You can only imagine the plethora of thoughts and, yes, regrets that were in the forefront of her mind at this critical time. Well, time was leaving Nita's world now, and she was days away from leaving it. As I sat with her at the bedside, she moved in and out of consciousness. She began to describe this dream motif of hers so eloquently and with such detail, all the way down to the curtains embroidered with dancing maidens and bouquets of spring flowers which hung in the light-filled windows. She painted a picture of the mannequins that wore her garments, as if to say that they were happy to be displaying her creations. She spoke of them as if they were close friends and they were supporting her every endeavor. Nita said they were always smiling. I believe they are pleased. She shared with me that she felt love and joy coming from her fingertips as they touched the elegant fabrics and tapestries that she worked with. I was amazed at her perception considering the pain medication that she was taking for her harsh discomfort and how close I knew her to be from death itself. I realized that she was in her boutique and living out this dream, or this fantasy as she referred to it, on her dying bed. This was very real for her, and I had no doubt that it was spirit gifted. She had found peace in sharing her dream with me, and this human connection became a profound spiritual experience for the both of us. Her sharing brought her dream life into her reality as she knew it to be in those last hours. I saw the angels in the corner of her room, and I heard the distant sweet sound of heavenly music as she ascended on her journey home. I believe that she had this awakening because she had shared her soul's breath with another, with me. Now every time I see a mannequin, I think of the sweet story and how honored I felt to receive it from Nita that day. And as she shared her moment of enlightenment, little did she know, she was about to share it with the world through me. So you know, that one thing, and then the next one thing that awaits you? We all have that one thing that we really desire to do. You feel it in your body when you talk about it, even when you think about it. That thing that is yours to do, go do that thing. No more, no less. That is your calling, and you certainly can have more than one. It's one step away from your stillness. The awesome thing about the one thing is that there will always be one more. It's time for us to move into the direction of our creative juices. This is that gap of living, our secret sauce. Our dreams, our desires are the secret sauce of who we came here to be in this life. Get specific and deliberate. Feel it. Whatever's calling forth you, get very conscious about how you are moving in and through it. Remember that your feelings are the language of your soul. It has no judgment on what you do or do not do, because everything we do helps us evolve. So learn how to become in alignment with your desired outcomes. You'll learn that today in the workshop. And I'm going to show you how to take that energy and become a magnet to that and keep your vibration up every day in seconds. I'm going to close with Mary Oliver. Mary says the most regretful people on earth are those who felt the call to creative work, who felt their own creative power restive and uprising, and gave to it neither power nor time. I know that is not any of you.